Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hang on, why can't I hear anything? That's better. I thought something wasn't quite working because everything had been unplugged. Anyway, so I apologise for the delay in between, obviously, everything coming up. Obviously, with managing TikTok and stuff and moving, it's been hard work to manage everything all in one go with. So I'm doing my best, but we are going to go through the other half of this interview with Jennifer Soto. There's so many things coming out at the moment. Sternsey was in court the other day, so we're going to cover that tomorrow. It was a pre-trial hearing, and then we have got to go through the jailhouse calls, and there's been some interesting things that have been said on his jail calls as well. I love the US for this because you get all of the information, nothing is kept from you. But today we're just going to concentrate on this, and then tomorrow we'll pick up on the hearing. I'm only late by about a minute. I had a technical difficulty. I'm always having a difficulty. I had to go back and find out because the thing didn't save where we last were. But let's go. Let's crack on. Hang on 1 minute.
Close to where his parents live right now. They live in North Port Florida, Sarasota County. I lived in Port Charlotte, which is Charlotte County, the county right next door. We had an apartment there for like 6 to 8 months. We moved down there because, again, Stefan was promised a job and that fell through. So we supported ourselves in this tiny apartment for a little while until I ran out of funds.
Do you remember what year that was?
2020.
So when did you live in Port Charlotte? 2020.
I don't remember what month I moved in, but I remember moving out in November.
Oh, 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was something. Like April, maybe.
That's fine. It was something we need to later.
Yeah.
17. In 2017. So 2018. Six.
They're redacting quite a bit of this because there's personal information that they're not going to share as well. Oh God, why have I got that sticker? Oh, that was from that thing. So as there's bits we can't hear, that's where you get the blank noise. Blank, blank, blank. I'm always on the naughty step, Nick. As you can see, Jen's looking a bit, I don't know really. What do you reckon? I think she's looking a bit sort of disheveled, but I'm not convinced by what I'm seeing in this woman or by the things that we are hearing. Let me just go check this out. This seems to be on the...
At the same time, no. But
we are
back. Husbands and ex-boyfriends live in that same house before.
Got it.
Oh, these do my head in. Like, if you're going to release it, just leave it.
You were to Port Charlotte sometime in 2020 for a few months.
Yeah.
And then you came back to the same house.
After Port Charlotte, I went back to my mom's house for a little while.
Where's that?
In Hunter Street, Florida.
Got it.
Even before Port Charlotte, actually, the few months before I was in Port Charlotte, I was living at my mom's house.
With Stefan.
Around March 20, decided he wanted to renovate the house and possibly sell it. So he told us to get out. So March 2020, so around COVID time, like 2 weeks after COVID was announced, I moved in with my mom.
Okay.
And I lived with her for a little bit. And then the Port Charlotte apartment happened. We moved to Port Charlotte, were there for a few months, came back to live with my mom, was there for a few months, and then I decided to move back. That he was moving out and like getting an RV and like living the RV life. So he needed somebody to take care of the house for him. So I said, yeah, I would do it, of course. So I moved in. I moved into his bedroom, downstairs, the master bedroom. Eventually, Stefan did come. For a few years. It wasn't until like June of last year that
This has got to be a pain for the police having to go through this
and go
with
upstairs to
bits
the
of
guest bedroom upstairs
information.
because I just
Come on
he's not a very clean
now.
guy. He's kind of a little hoarder, a collector. So just my house was always a mess and never the way that I wanted it to look. Or the clutter just
What's
pleasing
on
me.
there?
So
Don't know why
I
I
asked
put
him
that
to go
there.
upstairs and he did. And he lived upstairs until until December of last year. And then he moved to Northport, Florida with his parents because they had promised him a job, but that fell through. So we were in the process of trying to get him to come back up here to get his job back at Disney and for him to move back into the house for a little bit. And I'm not sure long term. I know temporarily I was willing to accept him back.
Was that something out of convenience for him because you?
A little bit of both. We missed him. And I wanted to help him out, like make it easy, like give him a place, like a base to start at, and then for him to start looking for something else afterwards on his own. But yeah.
You obviously.
Hurt my ears every time it does that. On, off, on, off,
Talk
on,
a
off.
lot. Is she a secret teenager? What is like your kind of day to day with her?
I would have said a normal relationship. I asked, she would tell me. I didn't think she was hiding anything from me. I didn't think she was lying to me about anything, but obviously she had secrets.
I mean, the hindsight. I mean, all the stuff you found out over the past couple of days, we're like taking that out of the picture. Your relationship with her.
Okay.
Like not looking back saying, okay, I was being lied to. Like up until you found out some things that you've been told. You guys had an open communication relationship. You talk about
everything.
Life.
Yeah. If anything, she was a little bit more open with Stefan because she told him about a boy she had a crush on.
Okay.
And that his name was. And
on off.
She described him, and Stefan's like, "Are you aware that she has a crush on a boy?" I said, "No." He's like, "Yeah." She told me that he's tall and that she likes his fluffy hair.
When was this? Remember when this conversation happened?
Within the last week, sometime, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like so we saw. So within a week of that Sunday, I'm not sure if if she had told him via phone chat. It must have been via phone, like phone conference, like we don't FaceTime, we Google Meet.
The Android
version of FaceTime, yeah. So we would Google Meet often. Sometimes when we get home from school, just talk all day, or sometimes not even talk all day. We would just bullshit. I would be doing my own thing. We were just keeping each other company on the phone. And I think in one of those conversations, she told him that she had had a crush on a boy. But I checked those text messages with that boy, and nothing seemed weird either. So.
How did he? I mean, she sees a guy at school. She thinks attractive. He shows her attention. I mean, she's young. How did he take it? Was he like? And I want you to think back before you know things you know now. Like, did he seem concerned about her? Did he seem excited for her? Like, she's starting to, be a kid, have crushes, and everything else.
He seemed happy for her.
Okay.
He's like, "Yeah, did you hear this? This is super cute." And I was like, "Oh, I hadn't. She hadn't told me." And I wondered, I'm like, "Why didn't she tell me? Why'd you tell him and not me?" And like, I want to know who she had a crush on. But maybe it's because I told her she had a rule. She wasn't allowed to date for a few years.
Okay.
Until like, I think I had said 16 or something like that. But I didn't want her dating.
So then your relationship with her was open. Obviously, she's a child. She's not going to share everything.
Yeah.
With him, it seems like she has a very open relationship with him. They talk, they hang out.
God damn it. It is. It really is, but there's nothing I can do about it. I've got to suffer the consequences. But I've got it on 125.
So it'd be okay with you if they went out and did things together outside if you were at work or something?
Come on now. Hey.
So the living situation with them, I'll be honest, seems weird. It's weird to me. She's got a bedroom downstairs. What's kind of the mindset or the thought process, the communication you've had with Stefan about, she's not going to sleep in her bed, but you guys are going to sleep in the guest bedroom?
So originally the plan was that all three of us were going to sleep in my bed together.
And I'm not just saying something, I mean like...
Weird. That's not okay. That was never okay. Still not okay.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how she thought that was okay.
I had a rule. She wasn't allowed to sleep in his bedroom at all. Like, no sleepovers, no nothing. For a very long time. For years.
Since we're pausing,
Yeah.
What brought that on? Was that like a request of his, like, can we sleep in the same bed, request of hers, or you just saying?
And me being super paranoid, not to trust anyone.
Weren't super paranoid enough, were you?
For the longest, like, even though he treated her well, I still looked at him on, like side eye, like making sure, like, is that normal? Is this okay? That was normal. Okay. I wanted to make sure that nothing was happening and that I was missing something, but he never requested. I'm sorry. Repeat the question then.
So I guess you said, like, you had a rule. Like, obviously we know now that you slept in the same bedroom together and everything else. I'm sure you're questioning a lot of things that, like, you haven't been told or that are going on. The thought process of them sleeping in the same bedroom caused you to say that you had a rule for the longest time where they couldn't.
Yeah.
I have a son. He's a lot younger than her. He's 4. But I guess if I was dating somebody or had somebody over, I would never establish, and this is just me, a rule. He can't sleep in the bed with her, or she's not going to be. It wouldn't even be a thought process for me, so that's why I asked, because I wouldn't think of it even as an option.
Yeah.
So when you say you had a rule, I guess I'm asking what prompted the rule.
Sleepovers before. Yeah. Like, you want to watch movies and eat snacks? Can we do that?
Especially
I'm like, no.
girl.
We can all watch movies down here together. We can all sleep down here together. Up until June, together all the time. So we were always. She would sleep in the middle. I would sleep on this side. He would sleep on the other side. It wasn't until June that he got his own bedroom and I sent him upstairs. That's where the requests for sleepover started.
Okay.
And I kept telling her no. I'm not comfortable with that. But eventually at some point, like, we really want to watch.
Wasn't enough.
They really wanted to watch something, and I was really tired.
Absolutely never.
And I said, okay, fine. Go ahead, but this can't happen often. And yeah, I allowed her to go upstairs and sleep with him. But honestly, I think I can count on one hand how many times that's happened, and it hasn't been many times that I've allowed her to have a supper party with him, to be alone in a bed with him.
A bloody slumber party?
All the time.
What the hell?
Up until 2 weeks ago, I was pretty much at home all the time, living on disability. If I wasn't at home, just, I was substitute teaching, but I was substitute teaching primarily at her school or at school close by, but I made sure I get out around the same time, and I get out in time to pick her up and take her. So she was with me pretty much all the time when she wasn't at school. So yeah, after.
When he's not there, where does she sleep?
With me.
She never sleeps in her room?
No, always with me.
Quickly, do you know, and you may hate the question, but do you know,
Nick.
do you have any idea? We currently have upwards, probably 200 people working on fire. Right, the Orange County Sheriff's Office is involved, the Kids State Police Department's involved, St. Cloud Police Department, Osceola County Sheriff's Office, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FBI. Yes, under suspicious circumstances. So anybody who is somebody is involved.
Yeah.
So regardless of the circumstances, those people don't get to go home. Those people don't get to go back to their families. Those people don't get to live their lives and go back to their primary jobs. I know the sheriff's probably expressed to you that's his number one priority. I'm sure the state police department's expressed that to you, our detectives. This isn't something that's going to stop or go away.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody who knows something, anybody who may know something, is brought to a room where we talk to whether they're guilty, whether they're innocent. Because our number one priority, our jobs have kind of stopped on the other things we have going on until that's fine, because that's the most important thing anybody has going on right now. But with that, a lot of people are going to feel that whatever happened, I can tell you, and I know detectives have expressed to you that the thought process at this point is this is a homicide investigation.
Yeah.
Based on the evidence I've seen, based on the videos I've seen, I do believe. With that being said, and the reason I tell you that, not to be an asshole, is because the thought process with us leads it in a different investigation, a different way. Meaning, whatever has already happened, right? We cannot change what happened most likely on Monday. We cannot change the fact that I believe Stephanie killed her, right? All we can do now is find her as quickly as possible. On the 2% chance we're wrong and she is alive, that's phenomenal, right? That's the best thing that can happen. On the chance that we are 100% correct and she has passed away, finding her now versus later will bring closure to your family, will bring closer to everybody, regardless of how it happened or why it happened. Meaning, if you have an inclination, if you know where she's at, if his father knows, That doesn't mean those people get held accountable for what he did. It doesn't mean those people get held accountable for knowing what he did. It means we close out the investigation. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we go into rooms like this and we ask people questions. We say, hey, do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? And there's this fear of what happened already happened. I can't change that. So I'm not going to insert myself with knowledge because it's going to make me look bad. Regardless, at this point, I murdered her, right? He victimized her. He ruined her entire life from childhood until now. I think that there's probably some sense of guilt. And my fear is that sense of guilt is causing you to not want to assist in the location of her, not because you're a bad person, but because there's that sense of guilt that what was happening under your roof. And now, by her being found, brings that all to your plate, and it doesn't.
Oh no. If I knew anything, I would so tell you. I wanted to, even if she said, because you guys tell me your suspicions, but I'm not going to believe it until I have her body.
So there are things, and the reason I say these things, and again, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but the reason I say these things is between a lot of things you've said and a lot of things I've kind of researched between Fox 35 story, between your initial statement to the police. A lot of things have changed. The initial statement to the police was you watched her get dressed, you watched her leave, you knew exactly what she was wearing.
Can I tell you
Absolutely.
my thought process on that, or where I came from with that? I was handed this form, and I'm like, where do I start? What do I write? And somebody said, tell them what you saw. And so I started with I saw, and then I wrote out what I wrote out. But it wasn't until later I was like, wait, I didn't see her. I assumed that I saw her. I assumed that I heard her, but I didn't. In reality, I didn't see her. I only saw him, and I heard something in the kitchen, but I don't know who that was.
Which we talked about today. But I guess there's other concerns. Right? You are nervous. The police have showed you their hand. They said, Stephanie, we want your phone. Stephanie, we want to talk to you. We're going to lock down your residence. You can't go back inside. Me? I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone and my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing Stephanie. Because at that point, you became more worried about him being falsely accused than anyone. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt, does that make sense? People having lawyers is their constitutional right. That is a thing that everybody is afforded. But for somebody who's going through what you are going through, to offer him a lawyer leads me to believe that there may have been a conversation, there may have been knowledge, or there may have been some inclination that you had, whether it be his involvement, her location, or something to where in your mind, there's guilt.
I promise you.
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff? Fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the earth.
You know that now. We know he's a piece of shit now.
You know.
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then you offered a guy who the police suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance, offered him a lawyer. And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
It's not fine.
Hold on. I know every relationship is different. And I know everybody's family is different. I won't ask. But going back on, has he expressed interest in, I'll use the word weird. I'm not going to shame anybody for what they like, different sexual pleasures, different sexual experiences, different kinks that involve things you weren't comfortable with.
The only thing he's ever expressed to me was like anal.
Okay.
He had an anal kink and like butts.
Okay.
But that was something I was never comfortable with or doing. And I let him know that. Like that's not like something.
You guys slept in the same bed together. Stephen was a big portion of your life at one point. Stephen was a big portion of your life at one point. And this is not me coming at you as a person or a bad person because shit happens in the past. In the past, we can't change the past. This Has he ever expressed to you? Never.
Never.
Has he ever made statements about made you feel different?
No.
Okay. When you guys slept in the same bed together, in the middle, did you ever wake up and find them cuddling? Did you ever wake up and find them closer than you thought they should be?
They would snuggle, yeah.
Okay.
But we all snuggle. I didn't think that was that normal.
So if you guys are sleeping in the same bed and she's in the center, you've woken up and they're snuggling, they're under the same blanket, they're not under the same blanket?
No.
But just like
she's got her own blanket.
Spooning for what? How what is snuggling to you? Because to me, snuggling, spooning, big spoon, little spoon.
He would lay down like this, and she would be right here in the nook.
Okay. How do you guys sleep? You guys sleep clothed, unclothed? I sleep clothed. Yeah. Shirt, pants, pajama sets.
Yes.
Everybody.
I sleep in like my everyday clothes.
Okay.
On pajamas or baggy t-shirts and shorts.
Okay.
And Stefan would sleep with his t-shirt or boxers, sometimes with his pants on, but he didn't have pajamas.
Okay, so they would snuggle, sometimes him being in his boxers. You would wake up and she'd be in the nook of his arm, essentially in a cuddling position. And you never found that weird?
No.
Okay. Again, you and I may find things different. Why? And I don't want you to look back on it, because now you know you victimized her for a long time, right? Under your roof, with you home most likely, because you said you're always home. You just got this job, you're living off disability. I know the Kissimmee Police Department has showed you pictures. I know they've verbally explained to you some pictures. I can tell you that today, they're still downloading his Google Drives. We are still going through his social medias, his cloud-based servers, and everything else. And we can now piece back her victimization in your house under your care to 2020. I believe you've gone as far back as any push. So when I ask, they've woken up cuddling, did you find things suspicious? Did you have an open relationship? He talked to you? Has he made inappropriate statements? It's almost like cheating, right? Like, you ever cheated on? Okay. Somebody can only cheat on somebody for so long until they fuck up, or until something comes out, or somebody says something, right? So if we go back to 2020, we're looking at a minimum of 3.
So there you have that question. This has been going on in your house, under your nose, under your roof, in front of you. Did you not notice a damn thing? And this woman seems to have just been wandering around with her eyes closed. Didn't think it was weird that the whole sleeping together thing was happening, and didn't think that them snuggling, which is ill, was happening. And I'm not even sure, looking from this distance, it's hard at this angle, but I'm not even sure this is real tears of upset. I feel this is, I don't know if she's hearing the words and making the noise at this point, but what did she know? I do not believe this woman did not have a clue. I almost feel like she let it happen because she was frightened to lose Stefan. That's just my opinion. It's not a fact. It's just my thoughts on this.
3.5 years. 3.5 years where I'm sure you guys are sexually active. Yes. So for 3.5 years under your care in your house, not only is he being sexually active with you, you had a sexual relationship.
And that is the most emotion that she's probably shown. Yes, she doesn't want to believe that Maddie is deceased until, they get her body, and she wasn't really sobbing her heart. And now she's hearing that, Stefan was sexually active with not only her, but her daughter. And I think she always had that worry that Stefan was going to leave her for her daughter when the daughter was old enough. And I think she's more upset by that than what's unfolded here. The truth, the fact that Maddie is dead and that Stefan killed her. She's more upset, in my opinion, of the fact that Stefan was having intercourse with her and her kid.
And I know it's an emotional thing, and I know it sucks to hear. But where I'm coming from is, it seems like something that you can't hide forever. You guys live in a small space, close quarters, you sleep in the same bed. You guys all talk, you guys all share things. You're an observant person for the most part, I assume. Outside of taking medications and going to sleep, it seems very difficult. A lot of grown-ass adults can't hide an affair with somebody who doesn't live with them, let alone somebody who does live with them. So at a certain point, I do believe you became aware of what was going on.
No.
And when I say that, it doesn't mean you're in trouble. It doesn't change.
I know, but
But I do believe that a reasonable person, I consider you a reasonable person, right? Do you think you're a reasonable person?
Yes.
Would be aware that under her roof, sexual relation, the videos, the text messages, the images, they're all documented forever. This has been an ongoing thing. And at her age, I think she probably thought they were in a relationship. She probably thought they were in love because he her male attention, right? She just started liking boys, right? She just got a crush. Up until then, her crush. At the same time, you guys are sleeping in the same bed together. You guys are all cohabitating. She's not sleeping in her room. But you felt the need to establish a rule that they couldn't sleep in the same room. But when you establish that rule, for 3 years, she's already been dating him, essentially. Whether that's legal or not.
I had no idea.
So I truthfully believe, this is my belief, I'm not speaking for other detectives, I'm not speaking for the sheriff's office, the police department, or any other agency I've said. This is Kevin's belief. I believe that you became aware of their sexual relationship. I think at a certain point throughout this relationship, you became aware of it. And for whatever reason, your reasons are your reasons, whether it was discussed that it would stop, whether it was discussed how it would go, that you feel some sense of guilt. A lot of the news statements you've given, kind of, again, my opinion only, I don't speak for anybody else, whether it's in this room or out of this room, bother me. It seems like some of your emotion, up until this room, I think some of the emotion in this room is sincere. I think a lot of it's because I'm being an asshole. I'm telling you things you don't want to hear that shouldn't be said out loud. But when you talk to the news, when you talk to deputies, it feels, based on my experience in this job, that it's not sincere. I feel like some of your sadness is not real sadness. I feel like when you gave the interview with Fox 35, it was not sincere. Looking at that video one time, I didn't feel like your cries were sincere. And I'm not saying that because you're a bad person. I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what the truth is. So it has to be fake. This is
So kind of calling out BS like I just did then, right?
demise for the past, let's say, 5 years, right? But her going missing, her disappearance, if you have knowledge of how it happened, where it happened, and inclination, that emotion's not going to feel sincere because you're already aware of what happened.
I would.
It's almost becomes
if I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the fuck you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything. I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to this every 4 years.
Minimum. That's just how far back the cloud goes. I find it hard to believe for me that you were so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not where she slept or what relationship she was. His interest in her.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because that he hadn't shown me anything so far. Like, everything seems fine. Like, he seemed like he treated her like
he treats you. In his mind.
It's so fucking disgusting.
So now he's in jail because of what we found on his phone, not because somebody came forward and reported that he was abused.
No, I know.
She's not old enough to consent. She's not old enough to have a thought process to even want anything that was happening to her. It's abuse. So he's in jail for that. But something caused what happened, right? We searched for murder because we can call it a murder. She didn't die naturally. She didn't overdose. She didn't have a heart attack. We circled murder on Monday. Something had to cause that. He's been having unrestricted sexual activity for a long time. He's getting what he wants from her, probably from you, and who knows whoever else, right? So it's not like he woke up or went to bed Sunday and he was like, you know what? I'm done with this, but I'm going to kill her. Something happened. People don't just wake up and like, you know what? They leave people. They break up with people. But usually things cause people to snap. Now, what? You know what? And I'm in trouble. Or I feel like I'm, or him being out. We can go even worse. She's pregnant.
That's what questions last night led me to believe when we started talking about her period.
I was told that her and her friend, and granted, I'm male, never had a period, but that somebody found it weird that they were no longer on the same cycle. Could be different because she's a teenage girl. Could be that she missed her period. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at home that wasn't yours?
I have 2 underneath the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Okay. But you haven't seen any used ones in the trash?
No.
Their relationship hasn't changed?
No.
Okay. So what do you think happened Sunday? Other than him killing her, what do you think made him snap?
I don't know. Theories. I keep hearing
Tell me your theories, because here's the deal. We don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
What I've heard is, what if she upset him and threatened to tell me and say that she was going to tell me and he needed to shut that down? That's the only thing.
What do you think?
I believe. I don't want to believe he killed her. But when you were telling me he was going to kill her Sunday night and snuck her body out in the morning. That photo you guys showed me of her stuck in the car.
You don't want to believe he killed her.
I want to believe she's still alive and that she got kidnapped, but that doesn't seem like that's the
Well,
case
that's
at
not
all.
right.
I know. My brain just wants to believe something else. I just want to believe she's still alive and she's out there.
Did he tell you he fucked up?
No. He acted so normal that day. He was like, I'm so impressed. We got out of the house so early. Like she made great time. We had so much time to go to McDonald's, but she didn't want to. His story was so fun. Like every detail was so believable. He's just been lying this whole time. Like
What about that damn car? What do you offer him a lawyer? Did you disclose anything to you there that made you feel like, oh fuck, he needs a lawyer?
No. He kept acting like he didn't know what was happening. And I'm like, don't you see forensics? Don't you see they took your phone? Like, something's happening. Like, I think they're gonna pin this on you. And I'm like, in my head, I'm going, they have the wrong guy. Like, they're just honing in on the last person who saw her. But no, you guys knew more.
You never said, what did you do?
I've never asked him any of that. I still, even up until when we got here to the police station, I was convinced that he hadn't done anything to her at all.
Because of him or because of not wanting to believe she's deceased?
Because of him. Because I thought he was a good guy.
So up until this morning, you still think that it's not?
No.
We're talking about the other day.
Up until
When we took him.
yes.
Okay.
I forgot what day of the week that was.
So we're still going through his phone, his drive, I told you, all the socials. We can date back to 2020. Based on the videos, it appears that was the start of the victimization. Okay, are we going to find anything in his phone with you?
We've never done anything.
Has there ever been a request for the two of you to participate in sexual activity with him?
No.
Regardless of you saying no or yes?
No, he's never asked that.
Okay. If we find pictures like that, is that going to surprise you? So if I'm in his Google Drive, if I have a sex crimes detective, a computer person look at his phone, and they tell me, hey Kevin, I found a picture engaged in sexual activity or borderline sexual activity, is that going to surprise you?
Yes, because that doesn't exist.
Okay. At any time during the course of your relationship, has he expressed that he has ever had sex with a child?
No. Not a child, but when he told me when he was in high school, he graduated high school like later, like older than 18.
Okay.
He dated somebody younger than 18. I think she was 15. But I don't know how old he was, 19, 20. But he was an older kid in high school. He graduated late. But he had a really young girlfriend. Her name was Kendall. And I thought that was weird. I was like, that's a little too young. He goes, no, it's fine. We were in high school. Everything was normal. Her parents left me. Blah, 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 blah. But that's the only one.
Have you ever gone through his phone? Okay. If you had knowing Stefan, knowing where he lives, knowing where he goes, how he conducts his life, give me your top 5. Because I know you haven't thought about it. If you haven't thought about it, that's another weird thing I got. Since Monday, right? We told you on Wednesday that we think he did it.
Yeah.
So from Wednesday till today, it's about 48 hours. Give me your top 5 places you think are possibilities based on knowing him, based on knowing his path of travel. Where do you think? It doesn't have to be based on evidence, just in your gut. Give me your top 5 places where you think he.
In this area,
Doesn't have to be this area.
No, I know.
Anywhere you want.
I'm saying in this area, I have no idea. Orlando, Kissimmee, no idea where he could have taken her. But his trip to Northport is weird as fuck. I feel like in Northport, he knows more people. He has more friends. There could be a place and somewhere there he could have stashed her. You guys said he went into a storage unit. That would be another place to look. But there's plenty of woods around his house. Around that exit is kind of secluded. Like
When you say his house, you mean his parents' house?
his parents' house, yeah.
You've been there? Have you seen the property?
Yeah, I've been there before.
Do they have land? Or is it in like a neighborhood?
So it's not a neighborhood because they don't have HOA. You just buy the plot of land and build it. They don't have many neighbors.
Okay.
Or last I saw, I think there was a neighbor building right next door, but I don't know if they're done yet. I just feel like he had more. There would have been more spots in Northport for her to be dumped. Because from what you guys have told me, he went to St. Cloud, he went to 192. Could you guys tell where he turned on on any of these roads? It's just that he was on the main road.
Ever so helpful, Jen. Ever so helpful.
I didn't think he ever even knew where St. Cloud was because we've never driven down that way ever.
No, you live in Kissimmee, right?
Yeah, I know, but to me, he's never had a reason to ever drive down to St. Cloud, ever. There's no store or anything he goes to down there. Everything is in Kissimmee or Orlando by the mall.
Florida Mall?
Yeah.
Orlando Mall?
Yeah, Florida. I sent the last detective 3 spots. I could have recalled him telling me he wanted to visit. Monday, when he left the house in the afternoon and got the flat tire, he had mentioned a few of those shops, so I sent them over to you guys. There's honestly nowhere to think of. We've never gone to. The only wooded area that we've ever gone together would be Shingle Creek Regional Park, where the Pioneer Village is. Okay. That whole trail there, we had scooters, and he had an electric skateboard kind of thing. We would all cruise the creek. Explore.
She's taken her time getting through her top 5.
Then the Kissimmee Trail. There's a trail that runs right behind my house. Starts right behind my house and goes all the way to that bridge on John Young Parkway that says Kissimmee on it. That whole trail, we've done that as well. That's the only places I could think that he may have gone, because that's where I know I've gone with him before. But anywhere else, I have no idea.
So our ERT team, so emergency response team, is just a group of people who search areas. Doesn't have to be wooded, can be wooded, can be swampy. They've been out for 3 days. They're going to be out all weekend. They will eventually, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's in 2026. Okay. I don't think you want that to take too long. Right? I'm sure you'd like to have a funeral. I'm sure you'd like to have some kind of memorial service. The last thing you want is for us to call you in a year and say, hey, we found remains. We don't know. Okay. That may not be something you thought about until just now, but I can tell you, being someone who investigates homicide, that is something that everybody has to come think about eventually. If you can think of anything that would assist us in making that happen for you today, versus 2 years from now, regardless of why you know or how you know, we need it.
No, I know. If I knew anything, I would tell you right now. I promise. I want her back so bad. I don't want to think about planning a funeral.
What has your communication been like with his father since this?
I've limited contact over the last 2 days because I know too much and I don't want to tell them anything.
You don't want to tell them what we've told you, or you don't want to tell them what you know?
No, I want to tell them what you guys have told me. I don't want to share any. It's so difficult because I've known them for just as long as I've known Steph, and they feel like absolute shit right now. I know that they kind of got into a fight because Chris started, are you sure we know our son? Are you sure we know our son? I don't think we know him at all. The mom was defending him, but now with everything, with the evidence on the phone coming out, they know he's a piece of shit.
We talked to his dad, and his dad knows as much as you know. He knows his son's a rapist. He knows his son's a murderer. He's talked to us. He's been very open with wanting to help in any way he can, whether that's technological, whether that's verbal.
Yeah, he even had. I was with him when he turned in his knife to you guys. He remembered he had a knife on him and gave it to you guys. I thought that was.
Have you talked to Chris about Stephen getting a lawyer?
Yeah.
When?
I think when you guys showed me the photos.
So we showed you photos of Stephen raping.
No.
First thought you had was to ask his father if he should get a lawyer?
No. I saw a picture. I didn't see the rape. I didn't know she was getting raped until yesterday. I saw the picture of the oral sex happening. And I knew that was true, right? That's evidence. That's for real. That's fucking happening. But I kept thinking, they're going. I don't know why I can't tell you why my brain kept thinking, no, he didn't kill her. Not that he didn't kill her, but she's still missing. She's still out there. She was taken. Yes, he's done this to her, and that's not okay. But I swore I felt in my body she was still alive. She was still out there. I told Chris to get a lawyer because I felt like you guys were chasing the wrong person. But you weren't. You're not.
I showed you a picture. The picture you saw, she was giving a blowjob to a grown-ass man, and you told his dad to get him a lawyer. Missing, right? Now you, but then you just thought she was missing. And we were showing you our investigative lead being raped. A blowjob is rape. Not consensual. Whether she wants to do it or not, that is not consensual. And you prioritized him again. You prioritized him by offering him or telling his dad to get him a lawyer. Not what the fuck did he do? Not, hey, we need to figure out what happened. No, let's protect Stefan.
I was in shock.
No, that's not shock. That is your natural instinct to protect Stefan. Okay? And if that's naturally how you react, that's fine. But that goes into what I've been telling you this whole conversation is I don't believe a lot of the things.
And I love how he just calls out her BS, really. Not, obviously we don't get to see how these interviews go in the UK in their full entirety. We do often get to see the interviews when they've been requested in America. And, we see different techniques. And even though obviously they've told us in the press that they've had to break the news to Maddie's mother that her daughter is deceased, behind the scenes they're really going for it and they're calling her out on her BS because she really is. She's only crying now because she's being called out on her BS. She's crying because she's absolutely distraught. Stefan was having intercourse with them both. Not, I don't think, because her daughter is actually dead and that she's not going to see her again and that she's sorry for what's really happened. I think she's sorry that her world has crumbled, but not for the right reasons.
You're saying, and I don't believe a lot of the things you say you weren't aware of, and that is because you've now shown me twice that your first reaction, no matter what you were told or shown, missing and we're seizing the cell phone, or we're showing you pictures of her giving him a blowjob, your first reaction is to protect Stefan. So now, murdered by Stefan, you're aware of this, you were shown pictures of this, you were shown pictures of her body in his car with a seatbelt on, right? We have played it out for you. Now you're in a stage where he's in jail, she's passed away, and now you can feel emotion, right? Until that point, when you were shown that she was deceased, your continued first reaction is to protect this guy. You just said, I only saw a picture of him, whatever your verbiage was, I say blowjob, of his penis in her mouth, and your first reaction was, fuck. Oh my, victimized? No. She's being abused? No. It's Stefan needs a lawyer. Who the fuck cares if we think he killed her? He's.
I don't know why. I don't know why I said.
But that's the problem. You don't know why. So the reaction in your mind is you're continuously protecting this guy. So why do I sit here and believe that you don't? Because right now you know Stefan killed her. You know Stefan's been raping her. You know without her body, can he be charged with murder?
I don't know.
Exactly. So you don't know what we can do. Do I think we can charge him with murder? It's not up to me. Should he be charged with murder? Yes.
Please.
Does your role in her life lead this to happen? I'll be honest. Yes.
I know.
Since she was a child, since her victimization started, it occurred under your roof, and you acted like it didn't exist. And knowing the victimization, knowing how ongoing it is, knowing that you saw a picture of it, not just us telling you, not me and him saying, hey, listen, he's being, I think they had a bad relationship. They showed you a fucking picture of it, and you still protected him. So how am I supposed to not think that the thought process in your mind is until she's found, Stefan can't be charged with murder? Because we both now know that you don't want him to be charged with murder because you want him to have a lawyer.
No, I don't. That was
he
then.
can't be charged with murder.
That was then. Everything that you guys have shown me since then and have shown me that he's.
So we have to show you a picture of her dead in the car for you to finally not take his side? No. Do you not see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick here.
Bring it on.
It makes absolutely no sense that your name is Stefan.
I don't know.
I know they are, Michelle. Pain in the
Stefan.
neck. It's exhausting to have to try and
There should have no doubt in your mind when they showed you
work
that
your
picture what he was
videos
doing.
and your content every time it
you had any
happens.
care in the
You've
world
got to do
other than
what
I
you've got
want
to
that
do, and
motherfucker
you
to
just
die.
ride the storm.
Whether you believe in the death penalty or not, he protected him. So now we're talking about her disappearance and where her body is. Why do I believe that you're still not protecting him? Because you say so? Because you can't explain why you protect him. You can't explain what is inside of you that makes you protect Stefan. And you may never be able to explain it. But eventually we're going to have to figure it out because you haven't convinced me that you're still not protecting Stefan. I got all these people out here searching. I haven't seen my own kid in days because I'm looking. I truthfully believe that I can't go home and see my kid is because you're protecting. I can't. You're
I love that he gives that
sitting in the
example
woods just
of
waiting for me to
protecting
tell
him,
where to go.
looking
But
for
I
her
can't because I
child,
think you're
not seeing his own.
in trouble.
I don't care about him. I want him to go to jail. I want the worst thing possible to happen to him in jail. I know what happens to predators in jail. Like, I'm ready for that. Like, please. I don't give a fuck about him. I'm not protecting him.
But you knew he was a predator when you got shown the picture. And then you text his dad that he needs a lawyer. You hope that he invoked, was the words I was told.
What?
You hope that he didn't talk to us. He needs a lawyer.
No.
All over a picture. You didn't care. You didn't care then. Oh, whether sex isn't important to you, that wasn't anything close.
I knew what I saw was
He was a
terrible.
predator right then and there. That's the day you found out he was a predator.
Yeah.
Yes. And after you found out he was a predator, did you not say he needed a lawyer?
I did.
So why today, Friday at almost 3 o'clock, 5 days into the disappearance, 2 days since you probably found out, or 1 day since you found out she was murdered, do I believe you that you're not telling me where he went, or that he didn't disclose to you where she was, or what caused this to happen is, listen, I know you know I've been doing whatever, or listen, this fucking happened. How do I believe that that didn't happen when everything you showed me is protect Stefan? Now, once that you show priority in this conversation, in this investigation, you're coming here looking for her, you reported her missing. Trouble for not doing that. But outside of you reporting her missing, and I may be wrong, I haven't been involved in all aspects of it, but you have not shown me one bit that you prioritize her over him. And that sucks. Not because we're working our asses off for your family, not because we have people out there sweating their asses off for your family, but because I feel like all I care about is your care is to make sure Stefan doesn't get held fucking accountable.
I don't care anymore.
Anymore. Because we're being assholes, because I'm not being nice.
No.
But up until Thursday, it was okay that she gave him a blowjob, no big deal, get a lawyer.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't okay. I saw that and I was in shock. And I don't know why my first reaction was to tell him to get a lawyer, but I saw that and I was in shock and I was just like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe.
It's easy to believe it now. We showed you pictures of it. You can't deny it anymore.
Pretty evidential when you've seen the picture.
The sex was okay, the murder's not. At least that makes sense.
No, that's okay.
I want to know what it is. And not because I think you're a bad parent, not because I think you're a bad parent. Dead or alive, she's missing. Her body is out there. Her body needs to be recovered so she can have a proper burial, a proper funeral. She needs to be laid to rest. Your family needs to be able to mourn her. And we need that information. That is life. That is not life of the law. That's not life of the sheriff's office. That is common decency. That is what she deserves. That is what you deserve. That is what your family deserves. But the longer that happens, the longer it takes us to find her, the less likely that's going to be for you guys. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I truly am. But deep down, you haven't showed me that I am.
I don't know what I need to show you.
Prioritize her over Steven. Think of places he would have dumped her body. Think of places he went, things you talked about, things you discussed, whether it's this week, last week. Don't put it in your mind that he's been victimizing you, or don't put in your mind that I'm being a dick. What can I think about to find out where Stefan put her? You know more about where he goes, what he's doing, or what he would do than you want to realize. That's natural, not because I'm telling you, but because that's natural. I have best friends. I know more about them than I think I know about them. I just need to sit down and think about it. So I need you to sit down and think about it. Whether you need a minute, we're not in this room, whether you want to do it with this in this room.
Me too, Michelle Lou, me too.
Of where we can go look. That is one thing we can agree on.
I've sent you a list of the stores that he may have stopped at and didn't stop at. The only outdoorsy places I can think of that we've ever gone to that he would know about would be Shingle Creek or Kissimmee Trail. I don't know if he knows where Lake Toho is, but that could be another option. Because you think it's a wooded area? Because it's a place you guys have talked about together? Because it's a wooded area with a lake, with gators. Like, we haven't discussed anything. This topic, I never asked him if he directly. I never thought he could have. I always assumed the best in him. But I didn't ask him directly. I didn't even suspect that until you guys showed me that picture upstairs. We're here. I don't know. I'm just thinking of, if I name places, it's going to be wooded areas that I can think of, but he hasn't told me anything. Like, he has not told me, or we haven't discussed. So him going to 192 that day, all you know was that he went to 192. He said he wanted to visit House Card Rules. That was one of he named 3 stores, and that's one store I can remember him listing on that list. House Card Rules? Yeah, I don't have my phone. We'll get your phone a little bit. House Card Rules. What kind of store is that? I don't know if that's like a video game or card game or board top game store. But that's on 192. Close to one. I think close to 182 somewhere. And he said he wanted to go to 3 stores. Yeah.
He is Michelle Lou, and I really like him for that. He's not taking BS. He's seeing what we've seen. We all called it.
No, not.
And the fact is, she never got done for anything. She's got some immunity. She disappeared and
wooded areas that you know of.
Yeah, knows where she is.
That you think you could dump a body in.
Because I've been there with him. Yeah. I
need to know wooded areas where he travels. Right, you're saying we've been there, so she could be there. So that tells me she's not there. It tells me it's a waste of search. Okay. Because when I put 90 plus people there, that's all day. Right, we got to coordinate that. We got to put them there. So we need fruitful searches. Yeah. So I need likely places that you think. I need places you think based on the conversations with him, not because you can picture in your mind the streets there.
Okay.
There's not even a good cop, bad cop routine going on. It's just bad cop, isn't it?
Need interest in being anywhere near woods or it being along his way.
He said he got a flat tire. Tell me about the flat tire you got.
So he said he got a flat tire. I'm not sure when he got a flat tire, but he said he got a flat tire and then came directly home, and he got home around 2:40. So flat tire, he said he was driving down 192 and just popped and shredded and fell apart. And he pulled over into a plaza and changed the tire for the first time in a very long time, and said he hurt himself doing it. The frame of the car, something came down on his finger.
All his lies, I don't care, but I want to know what you questioned him about. Why was he there? What was he doing? There's no way you're the most trusting woman in the world. You just don't ask clarifying questions. I know no relationship I've ever been in is that trusting. He just tells you he's gone at 3 a.m, getting a fucking Wawa, and you're like, I don't have that. Same thing with this. It's like, oh, I got a flat tire, was here. Why is he at these places? Do you not question him? Why were you on 192? Why did you dip out at 3 a.m. with my car?
I didn't know
this is 2 times he went to 192. He went to 192 the day she disappeared, right? He's roaming, looking for her south of where she went missing, because supposedly she went missing. And 192 is south of where that is.
And I
not very likely that that's the route she went on foot or abducted, and him driving around and somehow they're gonna locate her.
And he did tell. I did question that. I was like, when I asked him where he's searching, he said 192. I said, why? That's nowhere where she would be. And he didn't give me a clear answer, and I don't know why I didn't push it. I just thought he was being stupid and oblivious because I don't see him as the smartest man. Like, I don't. I let him do what he does, but I don't trust a lot of his. Is the word judgment? I'm not sure, but I just don't trust that he makes the smartest decisions sometimes. Like, he likes to act like the smartest man in the room, but I don't think he is.
Do what he does. Meaning?
I'm sorry?
You said, I let him do what he does.
Yeah.
So,
if he wants to just get up and go to the store, I'll ask where you're going, but I won't stop him. Just let him go on his way. I'll let him do what he wants to do.
what do you think happened? Monday to now. You know she's deceased. We showed you pictures that she's deceased. We know that she was probably deceased Sunday and Monday. We didn't see her Monday morning.
I still want to believe she's deceased. I know you showed me pictures, but
for the purpose of this conversation, I need you to believe it because I need you to figure it out. I need you to tell me what you think happened to her.
I think he killed her that night.
How?
I don't know. Could it be possible that he drugged her? Could he have choked her? I just don't know how you kill someone and don't leave a mess or don't leave evidence, or I mean, was there a mess? Was there evidence? I haven't gone upstairs. I don't know what you guys. I barely went into the house today, so I don't know what.
I need to know what you think happened.
I think he killed her.
How? You mentioned drugged her. You mentioned other things. Explain your reasoning behind those assumptions, and we'll move forward day by day.
So he had access to benzos and I think Lunesta.
What are those? I'm not familiar with that.
Benzodiazepines are anxiety medications which relax you and can make you sleepy.
Okay.
And Lunesta, I think, is a sleeping medication, like for insomnia. So I don't know if it's possible he gave her something and she was drugged. In those photos that you showed me where you're saying she's dead, maybe she was drugged. But if she is dead and it was done upstairs, I could just only imagine that he choked her. I don't know how else you would kill someone and not leave a mess.
How do you think he got her out?
I have no idea because roommates come in and out of the house at any given point in the morning and we don't know their schedules. They can come in at any time. You guys showed me a picture, I think, of him or her in the car at 7:30 in the morning. My roommate left the house. She's the one who leaves the earliest. She left at 7:45. So like, what if he had waited a little longer? She would have caught him with carrying a body out of the house. How did he do that without being caught or seen? That's what I don't understand because did you guys check and see if any of my neighbors have ring cameras? Any? Nothing?
I don't know what data we've gotten from them, but at this point, I need to know what you think happened to her. I don't need you to ask us what we found.
Okay.
What we found has happened. I need you to come up in your words, in your mind. What do you think happened that night into Monday? Because we do not know. I don't know if her murder occurred Sunday or Monday. All we know is that when you went to bed, they went to bed together, and she's no longer here. So I need to know what you think happened to her, how he got her out of the house, where he went, how he got her in the car, what is your thought on what happened.
I think she was killed Sunday night into Monday morning. I'm thinking he carried her out of the house.
Well,
I don't know how he
while
didn't
you
get
were
caught by any of my
sleeping?
roommates or no one heard. You're saying he drove all around town. I'm not sure where he could have gone.
And then him coming home and leaving, what do you think? Knowing that he killed her.
That's suspicious as fuck.
It is suspicious as fuck. But if you're writing a book, what do you write? Let's say this is a fiction novel, right? You're now aware that he killed her. So now you can piece together a story of what happened, right? You don't know the story because you're not him. And you tell me he hasn't told you. So it's not real. So you're telling me what you think.
Yeah.
Right? We know he killed her. We know he drove out of there Monday morning. We know he discarded her backpack in the trash dumpster. We know he discarded her laptop and one shoe, right? So all her property was discarded to look like she's gone. Now he doesn't have evidence with him. They leave. You've been told that they drove around Orange County, Osceola County, wherever it was. We've pieced that together throughout the week. All right. He's told you where, at least in his version of where he was and what he was doing. Right. But then you have all these suspicious times of when he's left and come back and he's gone here and gone there. So what do you think he was doing on all these suspicious times? He's roaming 192. What do you think? Knowing what you know now we can play. You know she's dead. You know that we've given you information. What do you think, knowing what you know, he was doing at 192? He was doing here. He was doing here. He was doing in Northport. What do you think?
Not what she thinks is
So him
what she
leaving
wants to
early in the
believe,
morning,
really, isn't
riding
it?
around aimlessly somewhere. I feel like he stashed the body at that time. When he came back and then left again. But see, it's daytime. Like, how could you move a body or move something in daytime and not be seen? But like, I feel like he went back to check to make sure he did a good job, or to move the body again. I don't know. But him leaving the house multiple times without his cell phone is sketchy as fuck. It's so suspicious.
Which is an intentional act. It's not accidental, so that can play into what you think happened.
Yeah. Do you think phone being on the dresser?
It was intentional. Her cell records and her cell data from her cell phone show it is not common for her to leave her phone at home. It is common for her to go to school with her. No teenager leaves their phone at home, so they're attached to it.
She's left her phone home multiple
Her
times.
cell data shows that normally it goes with her, so that's intentional. You know it's intentional because he left his too.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's an accident last Friday, this Monday, it's not an accident. So you think that he dumped her when he was driving around? You think that when he left, he went to check her body?
Possibly.
Okay.
Why would you go back out to 182 without your cell phone?
I don't disagree. So he goes out to 192. You think he may have checked where he dropped her or dumped her. He comes home. He tells you he's just roaming around aimlessly. Right?
Yeah.
So that's twice on 192 in one day because he went to look at the house of cards bullshit, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then he went to do the roaming to look for her on this random highway that he never goes to. Okay. We go into the next day and the next day. Think of the suspicious things he's done. Tell me what you think he's doing.
Him grabbing my phone and trying to log into his emails, that seems kind of suspicious. What was he trying to see? What was he trying to do? The thing is when he had my cell phone, now that I think back to it, he had something wrapped around it, so the phone was under a blanket, and he was like this. I tried looking at the screen at one point, and I could see an email. But
And that was the cell phone we took from you today, or you gave us today.
Yeah. Can you guys tell me if this is true? Because I recall a family member telling me something, like my sister. Was the last thing searched on it Amber Alert?
Her cell phone has Amber Alert searches in it, but I looked through her cell phone last night. I do believe that she may have been clicking on links for Amber Alerts that came through. I don't think she was actually searching them.
Okay.
They could have just been links she clicked on.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was him Googling on her phone about Amber Alerts or if that was her.
That we will never know. It's not obviously cooperating.
Can you guys explain what happened yesterday?
Before that, I need you to continue going with.
Where are we at?
Suspicious utilization of your phone.
Of the phone, him disappearing multiple times, him disappearing to Northport. What the hell was he doing? That is suspicious. I mean, now that I know that that's where he went, that is suspicious as all fuck. Why did he go to a storage unit facility? What was he grabbing? What was he trying to dispose of? Or what was he trying to hide in the
Wait a minute, guys. I've done something. Accident. Hang on a minute. God, I've now got to bloody find the thing, ain't I? There it is. There it is. Sorry about that, guys. Let me. I mucked up, guys. Sorry, and I've got my noisy mouse on.
That to me is suspicious.
Do you
Bit
put more
late for
weight
your
on that than
suspicions now,
192?
innit?
192, no, because 192 would be something happened in Northport. There'd be no reason he would
Do
take.
you understand what I was asking with that phrase? Putting weight on it? Like, do you feel like it's more suspicious what he was doing in Northport versus 192?
I don't know which one's. I don't know which one is more suspicious to me. They both. 192 seems to me like the easiest place he could have dumped her or like figured out where to put her. Unless she was in my trunk the whole time.
The trunk of your car?
Yeah.
Didn't you drive your car at some point?
I
And you
did.
guys sit in your car at some point?
I did. So that's what I'm saying. Like I would have probably smelled something, but I didn't. So I'm just trying to think. Like, did he stash a body in Northport? No, I don't think so. He was probably hiding something or destroying something. So I guess 192 would probably be the most important right now.
So being in your trunk is oddly specific.
The only reason I say that is because from what you guys have told me, he went directly from the hotel to Northport. I don't think he made any stops anywhere in Kissimmee or anything first and then went to Northport.
All we know is what we can piece together through accessible cameras and data. So his movements, his driving patterns, his actions, we can only 100% say what they are if they're on camera.
Okay.
So we can say he went to Northport because the car was in Northport, where he stopped, where he went in between. That cannot be factual from us if we don't have a camera. It can just be an assumption, which is why I want your assumption, because you know him, I don't.
Yeah. If I fell asleep at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, at the hotel, what was that, Monday night? Tuesday night?
One of them.
I'm just trying to think, like, could he have had time to stop somewhere, wherever he stashed her, and then took her to Northport? I think he had time.
Has he cleaned your car since it came back from Northport? Has he brought it to a car wash? Has he detailed it, paid somebody to come out?
No.
Because you, through your, we call it a fiction novel, you pieced together what you think happened based on a suspicious activity, and you ended with, you think he put her in your trunk and brought her to Northport.
Yeah.
I know I asked you to make assumptions, but now I want to know why. Why is that how we finished this? What is in your mind leading you to believe that is the ending of the story?
Because 192 seems like a really busy strip, and I can't think of anywhere immediately, like, other than going deep into St. Cloud, like passing St. Cloud, like going into Holapa or Harmony, that I could see some stashing the body somewhere around there. But Northport has so many wooded areas, and I feel like I don't know, he would be familiar with both areas. I just don't know him to ever drive down 182 super far down, like into St. Cloud. but I have no intent to drive around all around Northport. But see, I don't want to say anything and like lead you guys down to Northport to do a search and nothing's there. I'm just.
We're gonna go everywhere.
We're searching woods right now where she's not.
Okay. I just want to be like, I know you guys are like looking at me for the details, but I'm like, I don't want to send you on a wild goose chase.
You know him better than us. You gotta really think.
I feel like she wants a nap.
There's something I can think of.
Where do you take her?
I'm going blank. I have no idea.
I feel like you're becoming emotional right now. I feel like you want to tell us.
No, if I knew what to tell you, I would tell you. If I had the truth, I would tell you. I don't know anything.
Jennifer, where do you think you took her?
If I were him and I had to stash a body, but I would never do this. My mind would say to go to Lake Toho. There's a lot of woods there. There's a lot of gators. I don't want to think of it though.
Keeps referring to them gators, doesn't she?
No, I know. I just don't want to think about her getting hit by gators. I don't know where she'd be next.
Like I told you, it's going to come to a point where we will. Right? The Volusia County Sheriff's Office just found somebody the other day that's been missing for a long time. People get found. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not quick. I'm hoping this situation is today, tomorrow, Sunday, but we will find her. What you need to think about is when we find her, is there an opportunity or a chance that we are going to prove that you did not assist us to your full capability in this investigation? And if that is true, you need to think about the consequences of that. Consequences of hindering a murder investigation or a capital sexual battery investigation could be punishable up to probably the same charges, the same time in jail. I know you know that I don't believe what you're saying, and I know you know that I think you prioritize Stephanie, but you prioritize jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we come back and prove that you sat in this room and misled us, that you didn't lead us in the right direction, or that you assisted, or you acknowledged, or you knew, you're going to be warning from jail.
If I knew anything, I swear I would tell you. He hasn't mentioned. We haven't discussed this. I had no suspicion of anything. He did not tell me any more details of where he went that day other than those shops that I had mentioned. I'm giving you my truth.
On any of the days that he came home after these suspicious outings, 192 trips, Northport trips, and everything else, did he change clothes? Did he come home and appear disheveled, sweaty, dirty?
I don't believe he showered. He didn't bring that many changes of clothes with him, so I know he's repeated his outfit over and over. It's possible he could have come home all sweaty and disheveled after the supposed changing the tire thing, but I wasn't home to see that. But other than that, I didn't see him come home dirty or sweaty or anything like that.
Ew. He sounds like a right peach.
Did he do anything he normally doesn't do within the house around you?
No. No. He was acting very normal, sitting on the computer chair, chatting away with me, talking about updating his phone.
Watching her is like watching teeth being pulled.
Did he carry tools in his car to change the tire, typically?
I think he said there was a tire iron in the car and the jack.
Did he bring it inside? Did he leave it in the car? After?
I think he left everything was in the car.
Did you ever go look at his car? To verify that he changed his tire?
I don't think I did.
Never dawned on you to go double check. Except by the time he would have got back from the tire, you were gone, right?
Yeah.
What you told us?
Yeah.
And then she was reported missing.
Yeah.
During that time.
Yeah.
It never dawned on you to be like, damn, did he really change his tire? Let me double check.
No. We got home really late that evening and I didn't even think of doing that.
This is part of our problem. You did so many things and you never questioned it.
I didn't suspect him.
How can
It's kind of an ongoing problem, isn't it, with Jennifer Soto? Like she just didn't seem to, move things along as she needed to.
we believe some of the stuff that you're telling us or believe that you don't know?
I don't know how to say it. I mean, I guess I'm stupid and gullible and very trustworthy, but I didn't think he'd be the type to do anything like this. I didn't doubt.
Did you know he was vindictive? He described him as not trustworthy with his family. He described instances where you document where he was lying to his family, lying to you, lying to others.
Lying to his family, yes, but lying to me.
You discussed that he wasn't that good a person.
So he can lie to everyone else, but she'd never think in a million years that Sternsey would ever lie to
You're
her.
not describing him in a positive light at all. So this trust, this caring, all this stuff makes no sense because you, regardless of the victimization, describe him as a good person. He's stealing from his parents, right?
But he never stole from me.
You guys have no money, but all he's doing is ordering things, right? He's buying himself things. He's not. You described him as a selfish thief. You even called it a robbery, that he robbed his parents. So you're trusting this dude who you're describing as untrustworthy.
But I thought he was.
What happened to her? Where did you that? I can't fathom that. I can't wrap my head around that.
I think I only asked him if he took her to school when I called him and told him to come to the office. I asked him if you dropped her off at school, right? Because she never made it. And he said, yeah. And I was like, she never made it. Where did you drop her off?
You guys sat in your car Tuesday night when I was out there. I was out there at least 4 hours. Just you two in that car.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you guys did not have any conversations about this. There's no way. A reasonable person would have been questioning him. You were the last person with her. What the hell happened this morning? You never did that in that car.
So I get a move on, Jen. Answer the damn question.
I remember being on my phone. He was on my phone for a little bit. I know I was medicated, and I was just zoning out. I wasn't thinking anything of anything. I never asked him. Just asking him that one time to me was, if he took her to school, that was enough answer for me. I don't know. I just wanted to not think the worst, I guess. I don't know. But I just didn't think he did anything. Now I know. But then I didn't. I was still believing everything he was telling me.
Juvenile robbery suspects utilize the excuse of, I was high on bars, I took Xanax, I was blacked out. Right? Every juvenile robbery suspect you interview, I was, in your words, medicated, in their words, high, incapacitated, drunk. It's an excuse to avoid admitting what happened. When you say you're medicated, I can't think of an amount of medication that will numb you so bad to numb the fact that an investigation is occurring right in front of your face, but you're missing. So being medicated is just an excuse to avoid answering why you didn't discuss with him what happened. It minimizes your guys' interaction by saying you were not fully coherent with a person I know who can sit in a car and watch a bunch of detectives and crime scene investigators and everybody else search her house, seize her house, and be so numb that somehow is not ringing bells, is not overcoming the power of this little medication. There's no way. The human body will overcome that in a big situation. You didn't take enough medication to numb you of the reality of what was occurring.
I mean,
there's no way. Unless you were fully incapacitated, there's no way you were so numb that everything he described, everything I described to you was not in the forefront of your mind. You weren't numb. Just like these robbery kids weren't blacked out. They weren't high enough to not remember the robbery. They just don't want to talk about it.
No, it wasn't clicking. It didn't click to me. Like you guys telling me like, it wasn't as obvious, like this and that. I still believed the story he had told me, that when we were sitting in the car, I still fully believed everything he had told me. I didn't doubt him. I really thought you guys were going after the wrong guy. I'm like, they're wasting time. The real suspect is out there. She's being sex trafficked. That was my biggest fear, is that she was being sex trafficked. I didn't think that she would actually be dead.
But you thought enough to get him a lawyer.
I really thought you guys were going after the wrong guy.
At that point, from the jump, we've been trying to find her. That has been and will be our biggest priority.
Him getting arrested for victimizing her was an accident. We only discovered that she was a victim because we took a sperm.
And I'm like so happy that happened, because if not, this would have continued to keep happening.
Well, it wouldn't have, because he killed her on Monday.
Talking about if she had been found. Found alive. There's no, I've asked this before, but there's no like map you guys can show me of like with the highlighted route of where you could have taken, to see if I could recognize anything or suspect anything.
I can pull up a map on my phone. Either as you described, and we can go through it.
Sure.
You said House of Cards?
No. House game rules.
House game rules. On Vine Street in Kissimmee.
Yeah, Oak Street.
That House game rules. Feel free to drag the map around as you please.
my God.
And realistically, Florida has a lot of wetlands, so anything you see that's green may not necessarily be wooded, is maybe rural, but we're looking more for where you think based off of this route, not necessarily just like the green parts of the map.
Yeah. In the back of the house, people won't have access to the lake. That is the one shop I can remember him specifically naming that he was going to that Monday. He said House Gables. Did he make it there? I don't know. See, if we ever went down 192 together, it would typically be in this direction towards 535, towards Disney. That's why I find it really strange that you guys say St. Cloud, because I've never gone into St. Cloud with him before.
So you told me you have a friend in St. Cloud.
I do.
I don't know if he knows, but explain to him where she lives, who she is. Explain that relationship to him, because I don't think he's aware of it.
No.
Oh, okay. So one of my really good friends lives off of Old Canoe Creek Road, off Nolte.
Okay.
I don't know what neighborhood though. She's one of my really good friends. She's somebody I know that lives in St. Cloud. She's one of like 2 people I know that live in St. Cloud. She's hung out with us, as in me and Stefan before. She's come over to hang out with me, and Stefan would be hanging out there too, so we would all kind of hang out together. But yeah, she's just a friend.
And you're 100% sure he's never been to her house?
Yes.
Do they have their own friendship? Or is it just, that's your friend, and the only time he ever talks to her or hangs out with her is with you?
Exactly. Just my friend. He would talk when she was around.
And you just told me about the second person in St. Cloud. Who is that?
Somebody I haven't seen in a long time. Her name is Courtney Brackman. She lives, can you pull the map? But he's never been over to her house either.
Search.
Do you live somewhere in this area over here? Around here? Lake Lizzie to me is familiar. I would go hiking there often. Well,
There's a preserve there.
yeah, a few years ago, we would go hiking all the time with my friend Courtney, the one who lives right by there.
With Stefan?
No, Stefan would never come.
Now, would you tell him you're going to Lake Lizzie Preserve?
I've mentioned it before, yeah, on the phone.
Okay. When we talked about St. Cloud and, he had asked for your top 5 places, why did this ever cross your mind?
Lake Lizzie?
Any of these places in St. Cloud that you're familiar with?
I mentioned them the first time St. Cloud was brought up. I mentioned my 2 friends that live there. And then, I don't know if I ever mentioned Lake Lizzie. Not sure.
Do you know if Lake Lizzie was special?
She did enjoy going out there.
Was she verbal about that? Like, did she make that known to you guys?
She always told me that if we were to go hiking out there, to let her know, because I've gone hiking without her. But it's been a really long time since I've done a hike down Lake Lizzie with her.
Okay.
I've done it at least 2 years. Yeah, those are the only places in St. Cloud that I would know, that I could think of, that he might be aware of, but
So your gut tells us no.
Lake Lizzie probably not. Like, does he even remember what the name of Lake Lizzie is? Probably not. Jen, is it okay if I look up past rules again?
Yes.
Past rules again.
Is he in the video games?
World of Warcraft, into tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer 40k, card games like Lorcana, it's a Disney card game. That's what he told me he was going to go do Monday. He was going to go look for Lorcana cards, and that's why he was going to go to House Rules Gaming. He was just going to make a few stops, and I said, "Why are you doing that? Why are you wasting time when we don't have money? Like, you don't have money to spend." He's like, "Oh, I'm just browsing. I just want to look. I want to see what they have available." That's all he said. Every time I did question him, he always had an answer. Do you guys know, like, up until when on 182 you guys found him, see him? Like, how far down?
We just know it's St. Cloud.
Because I keep thinking, like, house game rules on 182, okay, it's got some secluded stuff in the background, or in the back of it, but it's still 182, it's still really busy. And it's all really busy till you pass St. Cloud. I can't think of anything. I lost my headphone.
So right now, I'm pretty sure you're still doing your film. I think. How'd you get here? You're driven here?
I was driven here, but my dad followed behind. I think you guys said my car might be ready.
I'll verify that in a minute. The investigation is still going.
Yeah.
Right, Stefan also is not in charge of murder. Right, does the
He's
sexual
not, or
battery?
he is?
He's not been.
Oh, okay.
He's just been charged with sexual battery. I have a couple questions for you that are going to be on record. They're going to be official. I'm going to need you to answer truthfully. Because if they determine that you did answer not truthfully, you can be held accountable for it. Make sense? Raise your right hand. Do you swear that everything we talked about today in this interview is true and correct?
Yes.
Did you lie to me? Effectively any time?
No.
Okay. Do you currently know, or have you ever been aware of where his body has been since Monday?
No.
Did you have any? Were you aware at any time, whether it be the most recent instance or the first instance, victimization sexually by Stefan? Okay. At this time, you do not know where Stefan went on 192? You do not know where he went in Northport?
I do not.
And you have at no time this week in any conversations with Stefan where he disclosed what he did?
No.
Okay. The story that we talked about of what at one point we discussed that you could potentially have been in the trunk on the way to Northport.
Yeah.
Is that information you know to be true or an assumption?
An assumption.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us before we go check on the phone in the car? We may not be able to answer everything, but if you have questions, we can see if we can answer those questions. It's not your only opportunity. Your only opportunity phase was you saying swear.
Yeah.
You actually don't have opportunity. You obviously have numerous detectives' phone numbers. You have numerous agencies' phone numbers, things like that. So realistically, there will be other options for you to ask questions.
I don't think I have questions right now.
Okay. I don't want you to think I was purposely an asshole to you.
No, I know.
All
You're
right.
doing your job.
Like I told you, like the sheriff's probably reached out. You've been in communication with numerous people here. Those are my opinions and my opinions only. They don't reflect Sheriff Nina, Chief of PD, Kyle, any other detectives who talk to you. All right. I personally don't know. All right. We will be here all weekend. We will be here all night. My only hope is that you truthfully did not lie to us. You truthfully don't know where she was, and that you truthfully did not know what was happening to her. Which is no big deal. Take a couple minutes. Because of the high profile. All right, I know you said we can download your phone, and I do appreciate your cooperation with that. But because the same way we do with Stefan and every other phone and digital device we've seized, they're making us write a search warrant on it, which really doesn't affect you too much. The search warrant is a legal thing. It's not a you thing. It's not a trust thing. But with that, it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
All right, so I can release your car to you right now. We can go facilitate that downstairs. I cannot make you a promise that that phone will be downloaded by the time your car's ready. What I can promise you is at the moment it is downloaded, if you have left from here, I will bring it to you. You're staying with your sister still? Does anybody have your sister's phone number that we can make sure we can communicate with you on?
Yeah. My dad is downstairs, I think, waiting for me, so I can give you my dad's number since he'll be
Whatever
with me.
phone numbers we can have, just to make sure that if we are unable to give you the phone back today, we'll tell my shit out there. That way, if we are unable to give you the phone back, we at least are able to contact you, and we want to make sure you have a phone to contact us if something arises. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
What's dad's number? What's his name?
My dad's name is- And if you can't get a hold of him, you can take my sister's number. She's
Are you going to be going back to your condo? Or are you going to go to?
I don't think I'm returning to my house ever again. I want to. I want to stay with my sister.
So what we'll do is we will walk you out this back parking lot. If the car is in the back corner, so I'll walk with you. We'll go through the back, so we don't go to the front lobby. It wasn't a press conference today. Obviously, none of us had to see what was said. I assume it's just an update. But we will go through the back to go get the car, and that way we are not walking through the front lobby and making you wait out there. I don't know if there's still media present. I assume you're not in the state or mood to go walk past 32 news cameras. So we'll go out the back and get the car, and I'll show you how you can leave here, and we can call your dad from the back so you can know where to go or where to meet you. We just tell him, hey, she's gonna be in the back parking lot. You can drive around. You guys can follow each other out, or whatever you choose to do that way. All right.
So that is the interview with Maddie Soto's mum. Oh, as you can see, emotions were a bit weird. They were a bit weird in places that you wouldn't expect them to be, and where you would expect some emotion if she was going to be emotional, it kind of wasn't there. She was a bit of a rinse and repeat. She doesn't know, she does know, she doesn't know, she doesn't. I mean, we're never going to really fully know, are we? what she knows, and the fact that she's not being held accountable for her actions either is telling, because obviously of this immunity thing potentially that she's got. But Sternsey is headed to court. So tomorrow we've got the first hearing, and we will play that tomorrow for you guys. It's the first one of a few before his trial, so watch out for that. I've set the time for tomorrow, I think about 6 o'clock. So I look forward to seeing you all then, and then I will be seeing you tomorrow on here, but later on TikTok. Bye, guys.